was thinking about it, and I got to find out that it is something dealing with water. The very beginning of the history of my name, it is dealing with water. Someone coming from the water. That's only what I know.
Sir, I didn't mean it to translate, but I mean to say that to write in English font Vadim Mikheev.
Yes, you can either you can either spell it as Vadim or go Vadem, Vadim. So it is more prolongated, Vadim.
Vadim Mikheev or Mikheev, sir?
Mikheev, Mikheev, Mikheev.
Okay, sir. Vadim Mikheev. Last time on our Success Summit series with Karnasaki sir, our meeting was hacked. So because of it, we are now with few and limited peoples in secure Zoom app, and all our other viewers will watch us from YouTube and from Facebook, sir.
Ranjit, go ahead. Good luck.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Namaste, Privyet, and warm good afternoon to every one of you watching us live from Defense Career Academy Nepal Decan Facebook page, from YouTube, and from Zoom application. I'm your host, Ranjit. Since you all know that our Decan has been running the series of Success Summit, where every day we call guest experts from different fields and we talk with them on various topics and subject matters. Continuing the process, on today's episode, we'll be discussing on self-motivation and goal setting in life with Lieutenant Colonel Vadim Mikheev on the way from Russia. Before starting the program, I want to thank Chairman of our Decan, ex-SSP of Nepal Police, Gupta Bahadur Shrestha sir, and founder CEO of Decan, Dr. Rajendra Kesi sir, for organizing such an amazing platform, or say the program, by means of which every day we are learning new things in this pandemic, which are very essential in aspects of our life. And also, I want to express all my gratitude for making this time more fruitful and productive. To all the viewers watching us from Zoom, I want to request you to kindly keep your mic on mute mode so that the session will run silently, peacefully, and move smoothly. Also, while watching the session and hearing the guest, if any queries pop on your mind regarding the topic, then by means of comment, you can send us if you are watching from Facebook, and you can leave in chat box in case of Zoom viewers. I will put your questions at the end of the formal session or at Q&A session. Now, by saying this, I want to introduce about our today's chief guest to all our viewers. As I already said that today we'll be discussing on self-motivation and goal setting in life with Lieutenant Colonel Vadim Mikheev from Russia. He is in charge of cooperation with the office and subordinate services at Ministry of Defense and Chief of General Staff. He is a veteran of peacekeeping missions from Russia and as a public activist in the sphere of veteran affairs. Also the board member of two veteran associations, Russian National Association of UN Peacekeeping Veteran and the Ministry of Defense Institute of Military Interpreters alumni. Now by saying this, I want to hand over this screen to our today's chief guest. So we are so glad to have you on our today's program. Over to you, sir. Welcome to the show.
Hello, everyone. I'm glad to be here, and thank you, Rajendra, for inviting me for this event. I've been watching your activities on Facebook, and I see that every day you guys are posting something interesting and you invite different experts from different spheres. I was invited to have a speech on goal setting in life and to discuss with you my own view on this problem. And I will probably start with the introduction. You have just given it to me, and I will tell you the story of my life first. I'll try to be short. If you guys will have any question, don't hesitate, and maybe raise your hand there online, or maybe send me a private message here in chat, okay? So I'm Lieutenant Colonel Vadim Mikheev. I belong to the Russian Army, and I am 24 years in service. 5 years is military college. In the sphere of military Transportation Service, which is a family tradition. I belong to the military family, and I will be trying to show you some pictures also by the time I'm speaking. Okay. Can I please ask the organizer to allow me showing pictures?
Yes, brother, you can share now.
Okay, thank you. Let me start from this picture. This is when I was born. Can you see me now?
No, sir.
No, sir, your video, your screen hasn't
Okay,
been.
there it is. Now,
Yes,
can
sir.
you see now?
Now we can see.
Okay. So this picture, you can see me at the age of just few months after I was born. I was born in the city of Chelyabinsk, which is 2,000 kilometers southeast from Moscow. My father was a military cadet at that time, and my mother was a student. They were just around 20 years old when I was born. So I was growing in the military family, and I never thought of myself about having any other career but the military career. I was preparing myself since my childhood to become an army officer. This one is seen. Can you see the picture now?
It's the same picture, sir. It's the same picture of your.
No. I have. Let me see now. Something is wrong. Why can't we see this one? No.
No, sir. We are
Oh, here
seeing
we
the
go.
same. Now.
Now it's going to be different, is it?
Yes, sir. Now your single photo.
Still the same?
No, sir. No. Now it's different photo.
Different. Okay. So it's me just in the childhood. And getting myself prepared for the military activities, I was thinking about which way or which direction in my profession I should take. Going on from the family of the Army Transportation Engineer, of course, I have followed the tradition and I have joined the same college my father graduated from, and it was the College of the Military Transportation Service. Okay, let me show you. No. I will be probably going on this way. It will be easier. So now I am at the screen as a second year cadet. Oh no, first year cadet, and I'm just turning 18 years old. In fact, though we have the age of enrollment, which is 18 years old, to become a soldier, as a soldier. But if you want to become a cadet for the future officer's career, then you can join from 17. So that's what I have done. Just after graduating from school, I have joined the college. Next picture would be at the day of my graduation. Here I am a commissioned officer, lieutenant. We do not have first lieutenant or second lieutenant. We just have one lieutenant, and then next grade would be senior lieutenant after 1 year of service. So this is me at the year of my graduation. Due to the background of the school where I studied, the school was with the specialization in foreign languages, and my language was English, and I was studying it since I was 8 years old. So I was thinking about somehow joining my military career with the foreign languages as well. So I needed to have some military background and additional knowledge of the language to go on and to somehow widen my experience in life and to make life interesting. So I have decided maybe when I was a senior lieutenant, so after 2 years of officer service, that I need to do something new to somehow uh, widen my possibilities in the career. So I decided to report to my command that I do have a knowledge of the language and I would like to become a military interpreter. it is possible, and we do have a special military university where the cadets study 5 years to become interpreters. If you are already an officer, you can have a qualification exam and you can be granted the degree of an interpreter. That is what I have done. So at the age of 23 years old, I have become a military interpreter. Since then, my military command could send me for missions as military interpreter. This is actually what I have become very proud of. And I started to work as a military interpreter. I think I have prepared some pictures also. Do not see it here now. Oh, sorry, just I was thinking about preparing another picture, but I did not. Anyway, since 23 years old, I've started my activity as the military interpreter. Working with those military people and with people from the same background or the same sphere of activities, I have decided to move on, and I got to know about peacekeeping, UN peacekeeping. In order to join this service, I had to undergo another course, the course of military peacekeeping. It is just here in Moscow region. It lasts about 2.5 months. We had to pass the exam in English. We had to pass the exam in humanitarian law, international humanitarian law, and driving. We were driving 4x4 military vehicles. So after studying this course, I was nominated for my first mission. I was ranking major by then, and my usual service was at the level of deputy combat commander, deputy battalion commander. It was my official position. But then receiving this certificate of UN peacekeeper observer, I was nominated and I went for my mission in Ivory Coast. I have spent 18 months. I have spent 18 months. And it was, I have trouble finding myself on the screen.
Brother, yes. Can you please display more photos? Only one picture displayed here.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to do. I cannot find my. Okay.
Yes, you just go up. Yes, now.
Yeah. Okay, I'm having a new picture. So after 18 months of my first mission as a military observer, I have come back to Moscow, and just within few months, I've been sent along with the Russian aviation unit to South Sudan. Let me go back to the Ivory Coast. I was there at the situation when the internal political and military crisis has taken place. And in fact, I have made good friends with Nepali officers there. And I would like to name them. Maybe you guys even know. First guy was Lieutenant Colonel Rajendra Khatri. Then we had an assistant to the force commander, whose name was Tapa Jivan. He was major at that time, just like me. And we had one lady, civilian. She was not military. She was a United Nations volunteer. Her name was Banu Rai. We're still in contact with all of them. We have made friends, and this friendship, which is made in hard times, normally lasts all your life. So after I have come back from the Ivory Coast and before my mission, I have joined the Public Society for the Veterans of UN Peacekeeping. At this picture, you can see the president of the International Society, Colonel from France. His name is Laurent Attar Bayrou, and he's giving me the medal of the International Society of UN Veterans. After my second mission, which was at South Sudan as a chief interpreter of the military aviation unit, Russian aviation unit. I have also joined the Society of the Military Interpreters, veterans in affairs of military interpreters. These are people who have been taking part in military conflicts worldwide. I would not name them because it's the matter of service, but anyway, it's very interesting and important thing. Those guys, they have their own museum of military interpreters. And here I am very proud and I'm smiling next to the stand with my own belongings. They have requested me to pass some of my own stuff and to put them into their museum. Now, every year in Moscow on May 29, we're celebrating the International Day of UN Peacekeepers. We're paying respect to the memory of those who have fallen during their UN missions and other peacekeeping operations. Now you can see a group of Russian ex-military observers. All of them are here. Then you can see some youth. These are cadets from, we have different name for the cadet. There's a cadet who studies for becoming an officer, and we have a cadet who is a schoolboy or a schoolgirl, but he's joining the special school specialized on preparation for the future military career. So you can see them now in the middle of this picture, in the middle of this line. And here you can see me on the right side of this line because I am the one organizing such event. And this event is held next to the monument of the countries which have established the United Nations, the 5 countries who have organized the United Nations organization. That is my picture from Ivory Coast, which is taken at my first medal parade. I am now proud to wear my first UN medal in the service of peace, and it has been held at the territory of Egyptian Engineering Battalion. This one you guys have seen. Sorry. Sorry. Um, as a part of the Society for, do you see me at the screen with the general now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are seeing, sir.
Now I'm here at the picture together with Deputy Minister of Defense. This is Minister of Defense of the Russian Federation, General Fomin, and he's in charge of international military cooperation and military technical cooperation. So whatever means international contracts for different equipment for troops, etc. Whatever is abroad, it is always about this general. And I'm mostly proud because this guy, he is coming from military interpreters himself. So his base military education is the military interpreter. So I'm very proud to know this guy, to to have some affairs, official affairs. And this picture has been taken during the anniversary of this military college, which have been preparing interpreters for the army needs within 80 years. So this picture has been taken February 1st of this year, to 2020. Here you can see me with Colonel, his last name is Dilaev. And in fact, he was a commanding officer of the Russian aviation unit in our mission in South Sudan. We have completed the mission in 2012. So we have come back in 2012. This exact picture is taken 6 years after, at the military academy where I completed my study, the postgraduate program in the sphere of military history. And this colonel, he was just attending the event, the scientific conference, which was discussing problems of participation of the Russian Federation in peacekeeping missions. So as an expert, he was invited and he was delivering speech, and I was taking part in organizing of this conference. Remember this young cadet guy, which have been holding a newborn baby on his knee. My father. There he is now. He's a retired lieutenant colonel. He's already almost 20 years since he has quit service, and I'm happy to be visiting him from time to time. He's not living in Moscow. We cannot see each other too often, but I'm really glad, and he's the most important person in my life, because whatever he says, for me, I'm taking it real. It all comes from my heart, and I know that he's the person who would never say something or would never advise me something that can harm or that can damage somehow my life, my career, even my ideas, and even my way of thinking. And whatever success I have reached in my life, whatever I have done, I've been always discussing it with him. I would always go and ask, Father, I have such a proposal. What would you do? What do you think? What can you advise? He would always find the right words to express whatever his parental heart feeling, whatever his military experience has, whatever his mind of an adult have as an opinion on such topic. So I am trying not to only decide on my own. I am always trying to have an advice from a person who is top one for me. He's a number one in my life. And you know, I have become father myself. Now at the picture, I'm with my son. His name is Artyom. Tomorrow it is his birthday, and my son will be turning only 7 years old. And I'm trying to keep him with me always when I'm going on some interesting event. And if there is something I can show my son, if I can explain to him, if I can give him some example of communication, of self-motivation, of finding new ways of life in life, kind of, it is just myself trying to have relations with my son just in the same way as my father was giving me. And I'm trying to spend as much possible time with him as I can. Unfortunately, uh, it is the inner joke of our family. I have got my father after he retired from the army, because our lives and our military experience was different. And he was always busy there in the office, there at the base. And if I needed to, if I wanted as a kid, if I wanted to communicate with my father, I had to go and find him in the office and find him at the base. This was the only way to spend some time and to have some parental love. Now I'm in the service in a different place. Life is different now, and I have different possibility. And I can give him something. I can give my son something that I was not able to have as a kid. And this makes me very happy, because I can analyze my life back then in those years, and I am so happy that today I can spend really more time that I had with my father. So going somewhere for the scientific meeting, for some public event, for some football match, whatever, soccer match, some athletic other event, or going to visit interesting people, I'm trying to take him with me and explain why am I doing it? Why is it important to people? Why is it me who needs to do it? Why is it not my neighbor? Why is it not someone else? Why is it me? So I am trying to kind of shape thinking of my son in the way of being important to people, because someday he might want to continue doing what I'm doing now. And this is what would make me so happy, that at the very end of my life, at the very late age, I will understand that this my 50, 60, 70, however much years, I was doing it the right way. I was able to give my son the understanding of what life is, of what relations between people is, uh, what is, again, what is this goal setting? For example, I am explaining him what was my life like when I was 7 years old. Then um, he knows that I'm a military, and that my father, his grandfather, was in the military. And then he's sometimes asking, why? Explain me why. Because you could have become whatever, an economist, you could have become any other businessman or something. But this is what I told you at the very beginning. I knew where I come from, and I know where I want to be. I know what I want to reach in life. And of course, I would like my son to follow the family tradition, maybe about service. It doesn't mean only military service. He may be in the service of people in any other sphere. You can always find the way of being important. But anyway, I would definitely try to teach him speaking one language and the second language, which I know, because I went to the Ivory Coast speaking only English. I have come back fluently speaking French, and we have a part of our family living abroad. My sister is married to a foreigner, and they're speaking two languages in their family, English and Russian, both. So I would definitely try to make up any condition when my son can pick up the second language, because going abroad, because communicating with people from abroad will make him think widely, will help him think open, to be open-minded, to understand other people's needs, to see trouble if it happens somewhere, and then to understand that this is the call of his heart, and he can go somewhere to help people. Like I have joined the peacekeeping, and what I know definitely, I will never push my son toward uh, some profession. I will help him to do the right choice. Of course, I am teaching him like my father did, like my father taught me, about discussing. Whatever you think, don't just keep it in your mind. Discuss with those people you trust. Discuss it with those people you believe. Discuss it with those you respect. It is not only your parents. It can be some friend. It can be your teacher. It can be some colleague from your office, from your cadet platoon. And I will be teaching my son uh, to understand this goal setting process, knowing what you do today, knowing where you come from, knowing where you are today, and knowing what you want from life overall, what you want from every day, what you want from every year, and on and on. Um, Let us finish with these pictures. I have few left, and then we will follow this agenda which we have discussed. This is me and my son in 2018. We're at the Crimea region. We went to swim in the sea. In fact, I can say that I have first been swimming in the sea in my life when I was ranking lieutenant colonel. Never ever before in my life I have had the chance to swim in the sea. It just was not possible. I did not have such possibility. And today I'm so happy that I'm able to give my son this chance to go and swim in the sea, to go and see something I have not seen before. Another activities as a part of the public society for the veterans of UN peacekeeping. People are living around the world, and those who have been working as military observers are not too many worldwide. So knowing that there's such society here in Moscow, people are coming from abroad, those veterans, for example, this guy from France, going to Moscow, he has contacted his Russian colleague, which he have spent the mission with in Western Sahara. So he has contacted this guy. Unfortunately, the guy, he was on the other mission at the time and he could not join and spend time together with his friend from the mission. So he requested our public society to find the possibility to join the guy when he is arriving to the train station and maybe spend 1 day or 2 days around Moscow to take him sightseeing, just explain something, maybe answer some questions, or even giving him a ride by my car. So I have found that possibility. I spent excellent time 1 day together with this French guy. He's Lieutenant Colonel. His name is Max Labatu, and he's now back home. But we have made friends there on Facebook. We can exchange pictures and whatever emotions, and we can still be in touch. And we have decided that next time he's coming, he will not only inform this guy Andrei, the one who has informed before, but he would definitely write a letter to me, giving me the full understanding of what he wants to see, where he wants to go, and I would definitely find time to make his uh, presence in Moscow best time. This is again my son. I'm very proud of him. And this picture is taken on February 23rd. It is Day of the Russian Army, and in the kindergarten, they're uh, reading poems about Great Patriotic War. In worldwide, it is known as the World War II, but here in Russia, we call it Great Patriotic War. It is a little different description and understanding. And this is a celebration. I think it is 2017. The same. This is the monument I was telling you about. Monument to the countries which have organized the United Nations, and these are the cadets from the school. These are officers which study at the Institute of the Ministry of Internal Affairs, the Police Academy. They're coming from worldwide, and they study to become police advisors for UN missions. And at that side, these are military observers. This is my last day in the mission in Ivory Coast. These are all Russian officers. And these are two officers from the Army of Ivory Coast, of the, yes, no, Republic of Cote d'Ivoire, the Cote d'Ivoire. And I think it's one of the last pictures. This lady general, she's the one that have given me a chance of working as military interpreter. If you remember, I told you how I have become an interpreter. I have given a report to my military command that I have a knowledge in English and I would like to work as a military interpreter in my career. So she was the chairman of the examination commission, which have decided that my knowledge is enough to become an interpreter. I have met her after, let me see, 2002, 2020. I have met her after 18 years. And I'm Lieutenant Colonel now, and she's a Major General now. This is the lady who have given me that chance. If she did not sign the paper that I do know the language, this could never happen, and I would never become a UN observer. I would never become an interpreter in the aviation group in South Sudan, and I would have never done what I'm doing now as the public activist. Uh, we have taken the example of those Zoom conferences, and the public societies where I belong, we're holding such Zoom conferences since beginning of April. This one you can see now is devoted to the International Day of UN Peacekeepers, because this event, this one could not happen because of the quarantine measures. But this is how we did it this year. We were discussing UN peacekeeping problems and participation of the Russian Federation in this process. And we have made the same celebration, but online in Zoom. Oh yeah, this is my belongings in this UN museum. No, the Museum of Military Interpreters. This is the short which I was wearing in South Sudan. And this was my ID card from Ivory Coast. And this is the shoulder patch from my country, which we wear at the uniform when you're in the mission. And this picture is from the Academy of the General Staff, where I completed the postgraduate program in the sphere of military history. I would like to represent people from here. This is my friend Andre. He is a PhD. He's abroad now. He's also a UN peacekeeper with 3 UN missions. This is the president of our society. His background, military background, is a military interpreter. He's lieutenant colonel retired. This is colonel who belongs to the justice service, the law enforcement service. He's now retired. And this is Colonel Anatoly. He's with a background of military interpreter also. And he's a part of the very first group of military observers at the Southeast region. The mission, the Israeli mission, as we call it. And he's over 80 years old now, but he's a very active public member of the society. I think I'm done with pictures now. Let us go back to discussion, and I will take a look at the agenda, which we have discussed before. A description of my biography, done. Okay, my current life, career status. I am now 24 years of active military service. As I said before, 5 years of them, it was my military college. September 1st this year, I'm finishing my current contract, and I will be fully retired from the active service, and I will continue the new life. Maybe it will be somehow connected with the military cooperation or not. I have not yet decided, because there's still some formalities going on, and there's still 2 months left. Maybe, you know, if the command would propose something which I can accept, which I will find interesting for myself, then I might stay and hold on for the military career for some 3 or maybe 5 years. We'll see. There is still some time. Next point, what is my understanding of success? Overall, daily, materialistic, non-materialistic, etc. Overall success, I find that if you can estimate that life you're living is making you happy, and it is making happy people around you, then you have successful life. If you do not need to think every day where to get bread and water to feed your siblings, then you definitely are a happy person. If you can take your phone and dial the number of your parents, and they're still alive and they're happy, thanks God, then you're a happy person, that your life is successful. If you understand at some period of time, for example, like me now, that those 20, 25 years, those 40 years of your life, you have been doing what you like to do, it means you're the happy one and you are successful in life. This is what I understand as the overall success. Daily success for me is when you're happy in the morning when you're going to the office and you're happy to go where you belong, where you do your business every day, and you understand this is what you want to do, this is what you can do, this is what you're able to do, then you are a happy guy and your life is success. When it was morning, but every evening we're coming back home. If going back home, you understand that you will be very happy and the most happy to see loving faces of your wife, your children, even your dog at home, then again, you're a happy guy. And everything you have been doing, it was right. It was your right choice. It was your right way of doing things in life. Materialistic success. Well, it is pretty easy these days. For example, I'm not taking the whole world. I'm talking about myself. I understand that if I have not done something before as a cadet, as lieutenant, as captain, as major, and as colonel, if I have not taken this chance to go for the new path in the career, becoming this interpreter or peacekeeper, I would not have had that materialistic success now. Uh, I'm not living in in few $1 million house. I'm living in an apartment, but this is an apartment which I have been given for my service. If I was not there, I would not have had it. Then just 50 kilometer away from Moscow, towards the city where my parents live now, I have built a house of my own. I have earned that money by an absolutely honest way, by realizing the chance which I could take, knowing languages and being optimistic and finding those ways. You know, I have a lot of people around which I have studied with, and those who have just got their diploma of the transportation engineer, and they're somehow also happy with their life. But difference is one guy is thinking his way. I was thinking some other way, my own way. And I was discussing it with people I respect. Firstly, my father. And then understanding their support, I could go the direct way towards the dream I have had. I wanted to become an interpreter. I have taken this opportunity and I have become one. I wanted to become a UN peacekeeper and go abroad and make my own um, income into this process. Of course, I could not bring peace to one country which is broken by a war, but I could be a part of something bigger. And I have I have decided to do it, and I'm grateful to those advices that I received, and I am grateful to those people which were around and next to me to help and support, and those who have been telling me that what I am doing now is what I'm worth. Finding myself today here in Moscow at my age of 41, I understand that this is the overall success of my life. And having my career already done, almost to be finished in the army, I understand that I still have plenty of time to build another new career in civilian life. And of course, this previous experience, this previous success, I will not cut it off. This will be the base ground for my future victories, small victories, daily victories, monthly victories, yearly victories, and then by the end of my life, I will be able to estimate how successful my life was, what it was before. Was I more happy then, or am I more happy now, or will I be happy then? I hope I'm not too philosophic, and you guys can catch the meaning what I'm trying to tell you. Now, course of my military career, we have discussed dreams come true, peacekeeping experience, and my way to it. I've already shown you. Self-motivation. Self-motivation. Uh, there is one rule that I always follow. I always try to remember good, not to remember bad. Not there's no life which is absolutely, crystal and excellent. There's always something good and bad happening, and you always have something to start from. You can always understand those mistakes you have taken. So the rule I'm telling you now, I'm describing my own rule, which I've made up myself. No one taught me that. That remember good, think about the future, and think about the future, not only the tomorrow future. Think about the next step. So reaching something, you should always know that, for example, becoming lieutenant colonel in 1 year, you should be becoming full colonel, the three star colonel in 5 years, for example. Or if I know that in 1 year I'm finishing my military service, I know that in 3 years I have to earn my first million, kind of like this. And this is something which keeps me on. And I'm trying to be most optimistic. And if something is going on the wrong way, something happens that I cannot rule myself, maybe you just need to stop, to think about the situation you're in, and then define the new goal, and talk to yourself, and to listen to your heart, listen to your mind, and understand what you really want and what you have done to have it. Because nothing is falling except the rain from the sky. You see, and to get something, you need to work hard. You need to understand what you're doing, and you have to be ready that nothing happens 100% the way you want it. You have to be ready that if something goes wrong, that it is either your fault, or maybe you have not done something well enough. Well, I think that I have tried to bring you my ideas and the story of my life by now, and maybe I was a little bit confused, but I'm ready to answer questions, or maybe explain something deeper, wider, any part of my career, of my life. Please be free to ask.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your experience with us. Till now, we knew that you are successful officer, army officer, but from now onwards, we came to know that you are good son and also good dad as well. Here, some of our viewers wants to ask questions of you. Pukar Taulia has requested you to share some of your memorable moments in your military life.
Come again?
Some of your memorable moments that you won't forget throughout your life, sir. Memorable moments.
Some moments which were important to me. Okay.
Yes, sir. Memorable ones.
Yes. When you join some military system, that you have then you have to obey some rules. Um, when you are at the age of between 17 to 20 years old, uh, there is sometimes problem of understanding how important it is to follow the rules. You have some emotion, So when I was at the end of my second year of cadet education, I was about to quit. And I have discussed it with my course officer. I have come, the guy was ranking captain, and I tried to explain to him that, sir, I am feeling, I'm feeling an alien here. I'm not feeling home. Maybe I should quit. I was happy. Now I understand that at that moment I was happy because this captain, he knew my father, and at some period of time they were in service together, so he could find the way of talking to my dad and saying that, Colonel, your son, I was corporal at the time, your son, Corporal Vadim, he wants to quit. He has visited me in the office, and he requested an advice how to do in life, because he's not feeling that he can manage his future from now. Um, it was very hard time in Russia after 1991, and until maybe mid 2000, maybe 2010 something, life was pretty hard. And having your son to study in the military college, it was actually a very good chance for the family to be able to bring up younger kids. We're three children in the family. And in fact, military family is not the most rich family. Yes, we are good. We all have institute or academic education. Anyway, it's not the way of living when you can afford whatever you want. So you have to follow the traditional way of becoming, of becoming civilized. And if you don't have school education, you cannot join college. If you don't have college education, you cannot join the academy. If you don't have academic education, you cannot become colonel. So all this military career, it is built in some steps. Reaching new step, you have to finish the previous one. So these were the words which I heard from this captain now. And then at leave is some time that you're allowed to spend with your family. When you're a cadet, Saturday and Sunday, you have a day off and you can visit family. Of course, my father knew about this discussion with captain, and he found some time to speak to me, and he has explained, son, before you joined the military, we were discussing what you're going to do, what you want to do. You wanted to become a military interpreter, and you have already done 2 years. You have another 3 years to go to finish the college and to get your diploma. Please do not quit, because there's no officers in our family who have quit before. All men in our family, Mikheev family, they belong to the Army Transportation Service, and they have all completed education at such college, and they have all completed their full military tenure. Uh, and I was going to quit after 2 years. So he some there was no pushing. Absolutely, he did not make me into some stress, but he was listening to me, and he could understand what is the problem that is disturbing me mostly. What was this which I did not like? And then he found this way of understanding, of helping me to understand which is the goal that I really do have. And this goal, I was almost halfway, 2 years, and then another year, and you're more than 50%. You're, before this third year, before, you're at the beginning of your way. When 2.5 years done, when you're in your third year, you're on the way out. This is what he explained to me, and I understood. that it's, you know, it's not that far from finishing. So I decided to be patient, and I have finally done it. I was so happy when I graduated, you know, and I was grateful to my father, because there are different fathers. There are some people with kind of liberal thinking who would say, okay, my son is not happy about what's going on, and I will support him. I will let him go. And who knows what would have happened in my life if I was not there for this another 3 years. I'm telling you, life was very hard. It was not easy on the other side of the fence. You know, there was some political transformation going on. There was very high level of criminal life. And again, having your son in the military college at that time, it was so important. So thanks to my dad. It was very first touching moment, which kind of brought me up, which made me understand that there is something that I can do if I listen to myself, if I listen to my mind, if I kind of, yes, it is kind of pushing. It is kind of pushing yourself towards some result, but it is just like swimming in the river. If you do not push yourself to swim, you cannot make it to the other side. So this is what have happened. He taught me that. Now I'm teaching it to my son. Second moment, when I have decided to become an interpreter, and I have reported my command that I was a platoon commander at that time, and I was platoon commander at the military transportation unit. So I reported to my command, and you know, people are different, and each one is thinking his own way. And reading my report, this this senior lieutenant, he was looking at me like if I was an idiot. He'd be looking at me and saying, "What kind of interpreting is it? What are you talking about? You're an engineer. This is your life. Go back to your company, go back to your platoon, and go do what you're assigned to do. Stop here. There's no interpreting." So uh, I um, I recalled that time, that again, on my way to my dream, there is some obstacle that I need to overcome. So I remembered that discussion with my father and with his captain. I kind of brought my thinking back to the same level. I analyzed what is going on. So I decided to talk to this officer. I have found time out of the office to talk to him, and I requested him, because he was my commander, so I requested him to speak free out of military rules. And I was explaining to him, "Sir, I've been studying English since I'm 8 years old. My level is good enough to perform this duty. The only thing I request you to do is just allow me to go and have this test, to pass this exam. It does not, it will not make you unhappy. It will not make you happy. It will not somehow have influence on your life. It is my life. And I want to bring myself to some result I was dreaming about. So just please let me go and let me try. If I'm successful, then I will be grateful to you. And whatever we do good in life, it is always somehow compensated later. If you do good to people, then this good is coming back to you when you need it." So this guy understood, and he did let me go. Apart from his own permission, I had to request permissions. This guy was senior lieutenant, so he was just 2 years older than me, so 2 years more experience, and he was a graduate of the same military college as I was. But before going to this exam, I had to ask permission of numerous authorities, military authorities, including 3 generals. And every time I went to the office, I was ready to explain. And every time I was coming to this office to request permission to have those people sign this paper, I was ready to report. Who am I? Why I need it? And what is it all for? Why is it so important for me? I was telling him that, yes, I do belong to the family of Army military engineers. Yes, I do have this education, but, sir, I have something different from what my ancestors had, what my siblings had. I know something a little bit bigger because my father taught me so, because he wanted me to reach something higher, something bigger, something wider, to know something deeper than others. So those, I'm grateful to those people. They did understand, and I got my permission. And then when I have come to this commission, and remember that lady general I'm at the pictures with, she was colonel, she's a professor at the department of at the wing of English studies, and she was the chairman of this examination commission. And she was surprised because she said, hey, come, you are 5 years in service, you're lieutenant, and you did not even study here, but you're speaking English very fluently, and yes, you definitely do belong there. And she has signed permission for me to start my career as an interpreter. And then, having this permission, I have only started working as an interpreter after 4 years. Since that moment, 4 years. Next 4 years, I had to prove in front of my commanding officers at different levels that I'm worth it, that I can do it. It was not easy. There was always some misunderstanding at the very first moment. And then somehow I could prove that, yes. For example, some of them were asking me, okay, you're telling me you know English. Yes, sir, I do. Hey, listen, there's this song. Tell me, what is this guy singing? And I was successful to translate. Is it really? And you just translated it? Yes, I did, sir. Okay, and what is there in this movie? And then I would be telling him that there's something in this movie. Hey, then the other day he would come and say, okay, my son is having trouble doing some homework in English. Could you please look through? And I would look through. And then after some other period of time, they would say, okay, listen, you are talking about this occupation of military. Are you still there? Yes, sir, I still want it. Okay, I will agree. I will sign whichever paper. This is how these obstacles were, overcome. Uh, then another important moment for me, it was beginning of my first mission. Studying here in Moscow or in the Moscow region, well, it was okay. I could handle it without any problem. But when I have come abroad for the first time, it was not first time in my life, I mean abroad, but going abroad as a military, it was first time. It was different. I remember that very first moment of going out of the gate at the airport. The air is absolutely different. The air was very dense, very wet, very warm, and it had a special smell. So when I went out of the gate of the airport, I had the very first feeling of uh, I was not walking and breathing this air. I felt like I'm swimming in this air. It was kind of like going around your skin, and I could physically feel the air. It was very different for me. Speaking about my experience abroad, I have to say that I did finish school in Russia, But as I told you in the very beginning, I started learning English when I was 8 years old. So by the age of 16, I've taken part in the competition. It was kind of not the championship, but contest. Yeah, it was a contest of English, and between scholars, those who studied English since early age. I have participated and I was granted the possibility. So I went to the United States for 1 year, and I was living there in American family and studying in regular American school, doing regular American sports. I was playing football, lawn tennis, and I did wrestling. So after that, I have come and I continued, as I told you from the beginning of this chat. Since then, since 1996, when I have come back from the United States and before my college, first time I went abroad, it was January 2010. So it was 14 years after. It was very touching moment. And then I think yeah, during my first mission, I was there in one moment when there was civil war in Ivory Coast, and it was hard times. One day I was driving home in the evening, and I was at the traffic light waiting to continue moving. And those people around, they have appeared from the dark, and they started crushing the car. And I at that moment I just prayed to God to help me out. You know, military observers, we did not wear any weapon. We were not able. We were not allowed because we had diplomatic passport. And if you use any weapon, you can be dismissed from the mission within 24 hours. It's a very strict rule. So I did not have any arm to defend myself, and I was driving UN vehicle, and somehow God saved me, and I have made it home on the car, which was totally crashed. I could not even drive it anymore. You know, there were no more windshield, there were no mirrors, there were no stoplight. You know, it was all crashed, totally ruined. But then we were locked up in the base at Abidjan, the capital of Ivory Coast, and somehow these bad emotions they have left, and it was important moment. I had a lot of, you know, there was this real adrenaline rush, but I understood that yes, there is the problem in this country, but this is where my country have sent me to be a part of peacekeeping process, and I am here as a part of something big, and I'm doing something very important. This was very important part for me, and maybe the last moment it was my decision to finish the career in April this year. I went to our personnel branch, and I have submitted a report that I am planning to finish the current contract just now in September. And since then, I started to think about my future life, because my life is not only about myself, not only Vadim. It is my son, it is my wife, it is my parents again. And I started to think about what to do further on. And my thinking some kind of changed a little bit. I started to pay attention to some maybe to something which I did not pay attention to before. Well, that's pretty much it.
Thank you so much, sir. Continuing the experience or say the moment sharing part, you have just said that you got to work with Nepalese soldiers, the then Major Jivan Thapa sir, the then Colonel Rajendra Khatri sir, and
Yes.
non-staff Bhanu Rai ma'am. Sir, could you
Mhm.
share the moment that you met with them? Could you remember
Yes.
those parts?
Yes. Sure. The first guy which I have met, it was Tapa Jivan. He was a personal assistant to the force commander, and deputy force commander was chief military observer of the mission, and he was running his office. He was in charge of all his affairs, all his plans and everything. So running my position as operations officer of the team site, and then later on as operations officer of the sector, I had to coordinate with him whichever activities our subordinate staff had. And he was a guy who would always listen to you, and he would never say no or yes too early. He would always think about what am I telling him, and what is the motivation that I have, what is the proof of what I'm saying. And he was kind of philosophic and at the same time strict. And the guy was very wise. He was very wise. This is what I really appreciate um, in people when they run some official position. You should not be too hard on people, and you should not be too soft. And making your decisions or advising someone, you have to learn what this guy has to tell you and what he wants to hear from you. This is the kind of person he was. Then second guy, a very friendly guy, Rajendra. Affairs. I mean, I was never subordinate to him. He was never subordinate to me. We were just knowing each other because we have met, because we knew each other's face, and he was always friendly, very friendly. What about Banu? Banu is probably, she's a civilian lady, and I have spent much more time closer to her because she was belonging to the same office, this sector east in Buake, town of Buake, and she was running her position in um, what do we call it? Not logistics. It is MoveCon, movement control. She was running this position in MoveCon, and from time to time, times were different, and sometimes I needed more help from her. Sometimes she wanted help from me because we had that inner flow of information, because she needed to run her position successfully, so she needed feedback of information from our office. And for example, we needed to have possibility to travel somewhere or to send something. So building this good friendly relations and mutual understanding really was helping us to be successful in hard time, because it was really military conflict in the country. Life was not easy, and having someone like this around was very nice.
Thank you so much, sir. You just talked about liberal and restricted family. It's so good to know that your family was supportive and supported whenever you needed the most.
Absolutely.
But in some other cases, people don't get support from their family. There occurs the clash of thought between you and your parents regarding who you want to be and what your parents want you to be. At that time, what should we do? How to deal in such type of situations, sir?
Okay. Uh, as I understand, in the mid 90s, as I have explained before, it was pretty hard situation in the country. So, listening to my parents, and it is not they wanted me to become the officer of the transportation service. It is not 100% that, but they did respect my understanding of what family tradition is. As I told you, all men in our family, they become military. So becoming army officers is the family tradition. I have followed that tradition. But in each army, there are different professions. There's different way of serving in your army. I wanted to become that what I am now, an interpreter and UN peacekeeper. Neither my brother, neither my father, neither my cousins, no one have become what I have become. And now there was understanding on the side of my parents. They were able to understand that I'm thinking different and I'm dreaming different. And I am ready to go on. I'm ready to work hard to receive the result that I want. And they were supporting me. They were listening to me. They were explaining that, in fact, they did not have any other possibility to bring me to that side of the river where I wanted to make. Now, after these 24 years, I understand we're living in different time. And the possibilities which I have now, I have them thanking my military experience, because I have met different people which can now support me in helping my child. So I can now listen to what he wants, respect his way of thinking, support his willingness to do something, and we call it administrative support. So I have done something in my life which can give him this administrative support. I can kind of show him something to choose from. You know, in the mid 90s, I had no other example of my father. I only knew that there's this military college, that there's this army transportation service, that there is uncle, that there is cousin, that there is father. Now, my son going somewhere with me, or listening to me, or seeing me doing my job, he has more opportunities because he knows his father has traveled to the United States. He knows his father have traveled to the Ivory Coast, to Sudan, to Uganda, to Ghana, whatever other countries I went to. He knows that my father, he does not speak any language. My brother does not speak any language. But he knows that his father, which is me, I do speak one language. And then wanting to see something new, to make my life more interesting, and to make his life more interesting through this, I have learned the second language. So now I can see my 7 years old son proud of his father like I was proud of mine when I was a kid. But uh, the possibility, again, which I am giving him now, they're wider than I had my 24 years ago. When my son will be at the age of making decision about what he wants to do, I am sure if God will give me this opportunity, if I will be alive and healthy, I will be next to him. And I know definitely that I will be listening to him, and I will do my best to understand what he really wants. If there will be something that will endanger me, that I will understand that this might harm, I will not just close this gate. I will not push him back, but I will try to find the way to explain that this may uh, bring you harm, bring you danger. My own thinking is that if you're born a man, then you have to make decisions. All your life is about making decisions, finding the way to fulfill those decisions which you have made, and then be responsible for decisions that you have made. This is what I'm trying to tell him now. Since early age, I'm telling him, okay, you want to, whatever, kick a dog. You want to kick a dog. First, think why. Think if it will bring the dog pain. And now Think about the other situation. There is a small dog and you're big. Now you're small, but the elephant is big. Think about an elephant who will kick you with his foot. Would it be painful for you? Would you please change your mind against the dog and do not kick it because it will be harmful and it will be painful for the dog? Think about yourself. If you were a dog and the dog were you, would you still want this kick? I want my son to understand that day by day he's learning to make decisions. Then if he has decided to do something, he has to do. If he would decide to kick the dog, he should be ready that the dog would bite back. Are you ready to feel the pain from the dog's bite? This is what I'm telling him, for example. And if I have given you advice not to kick a dog, but you decide to do it, you want to kick, you kick it, then the dog is biting you back, then please do not cry about the pain you have in your foot because it was your decision. You have to be responsible. Uh, if my son would ever want to become a military, of course, I would try to support him 100%. I will try to do whatever I can to help him join. If he will not, and he would choose some other profession, civilian or whichever governmental service, of course, I will be there to support. If I will not be able to give him a suggestion, to give him such advice that he needs at that moment, I will be thinking about finding someone else more experienced, more wise, or I will not hesitate to talk to my dad. And I really wish that God will let me have my father around when I can ask, Father, I'm in the middle between you and my son, and he wants my advice, and I'm blank. I have no experience. I do not know what to tell him, how to support. Should I advise him to go on, or should I advise him to avoid something? What should I say? I know that all my life he will still be 20 years older than me, 21 years. So his life experience it is always bigger, wider. Though he's not speaking the language, but his wisdom is much bigger than mine. He has seen so many stories in life. He has met so many people in life. He knows so many successful and unsuccessful people. I'm absolutely sure he will be able to find this word that I will need. And my father's word would be a background for maybe a bigger discussion, which I can create for my son based on my father's word. I hope I was clear.
Absolutely, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. One of our viewer who is watching us watching us live from YouTube wants to ask you the question that with the time my aim to be in future keeps changing. I can't be stable in terms of future. I know that this habit is not good, but still this has been happening to me. What is the solution of this? How to be stable in life?
Can you please write the question shortly in the chat because I can hear some signal distortion and I'm not reading you clear. Just write it there in the chat. I can read and answer, no problem.
Sir, he just wants to know that how to be stable in life, how to be persistent, just dreaming only one aim.
How to be persistent in life?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How to be stable.
Let me check. Google Translate. Though I am an interpreter, but I cannot know 100% of words. Persistent. Let me see. Persistent. Oh, okay. Persistency is very important for men. I mean, I do not want to say something bad about women, but being a man and being an officer for me as a military person, persistency is one of the most important features and characteristics. You have to believe that something best is always there. And wherever you're going, you're always going to make this life better. For myself, if I were not persistent enough, I would not have gone to study there in the States, because the contest of the language, which I told you, I could not make it from the first time. I did it twice, 2 years, and it's a long way. It takes few months. So I really wanted it. And probably this feature of persistency, it have helped me to move on and continue. If I would not have gone to the United States, I might not have become an interpreter, because school level of the language, without practical side of it, it is nothing. It is only theory, you know. But I have kind of well, I have practiced the language within 1 year. So this has given me a chance not to lose my knowledge within the next 5 years in the college, because in the military college I did nothing about English. It was my own baby, and no one cared about it. I was becoming the transportation officer, not an interpreter then. What I only did to show my knowledge of foreign language as a cadet, before graduation from the military college, we were doing the project, scientific project. So when you're becoming an engineer, there is always a project that it is like the same as PhD, but lower level. Uh, then if you're successful in it, then you're giving your degree of an engineer. So my idea was to do both, do my project and show my language skill. So I went to the head of the faculty. Um, how was it called? Vehicle construction faculty. And I was talking to this professor guy, and I said, "Sir, I'm fluent in English. Would you please help me somehow to show it within this project?" And I was lucky because this guy spoke English very well himself. And I did my full engineer project in English. It was 81 page, and only 15 pages of this project, it was higher mathematics. All these calculations, whatever. I remember details. I was using hydraulic transmission for the multi-purpose track. So I did theoretical research. I've given all this calculation and everything. But out of 500 cadets, it was only me who did it in English. I was one. No other cadets did it the same. So in this way, the military chain of command could see that there is only one officer, one young lieutenant, who can do something above average level. And I'm going back to school again. If there was no number one attempt in this contest, if there was no attempt number two, if I quit at the second year of my cadet education, there would not be my engineering diploma in English. And then there would not be me as a senior lieutenant who was trying to become a military interpreter. So I always understood what I want from life. And I always understood, doing one step, what would be my next step? And what is the end of this stairway? Maybe some of persistency I have gained because of doing sports. I was doing wrestling for 11 years in my life. And you know, when you're doing such kind of sports, you're kind of you're bringing up your character, and you're learning to go a little further. When you feel pain, you have to wait just a little, and then there will be no pain. When you're tired, you need to go just a little more. Just keep it, hold on, and keep going, and then you make it, because there's always something. And God is watching us, and he always know that this guy is weak. He's never reaching the point. I'm giving him a chance. What he only needs to do is kind of push himself towards this result. And if someone is weak, then he's not making it. So you need to raise yourself. You need to widen your thinking. You need to work on your will. You need to be responsible in what you're doing. And then altogether, it will be your life persistency. That's what I think about it.
Thank you so much, sir. Since you know that our decan is the first and only one institution that has been preparing the officers who wants to serve in security services, I want to ask you the question that what are the qualities that you think that one should have in order to be an officer?
Uh, my own experience tells me that an officer has to be ready to widen his level of education throughout his career, because when you study at the college, it is never enough, because what you get in the college, it is enough for the platoon and the company. But then to command a battalion, you need to study at least at some commanding course. Then if you do commandant staff college, you widen your thinking and your skills and your level of education. Then you go to the general staff academy, and then you do your PhD project at the postgraduate program. And so you have to be ready to study all your life. However long you live, however long you serve in the military, you have to be ready to continue your education. Second, you have to be able to make decisions. And making decisions, you have to be smart, you have to be strict, and you should not personalize your decision too much. So you should not be, trying to be good for for everyone, because it is not possible to be good for absolutely everyone. But you have to follow some rules, and you have to be strict enough um, to show that what you're doing, it is because of the rules. And then you have some knowledge background, and you have good skills to make this decision. And then you have to be able to take responsibilities for the decisions that you make, because when you make decisions, it is always influencing people's lives, whoever you work with. If you're general and you're working with generals and officers and non-commissioned officers and privates, whoever, they all are people. And there is always people behind them, because there's always their parents, there's always their wives, there's always their children. And at the end of every day, these people will be going home, and they will be analyzing the day that they have passed today. And analyzing this day, they will be analyzing how you were dealing with them. If you were rude, or you were smart, or were you strict enough, or maybe he wanted to tell you something and you did not listen, or maybe he wanted to tell you something else, except or apart from someone else, another sergeant, and you did listen to the sergeant and you did not listen to him, and it was unfair. So making your decisions, you have to be ready for the responsibility, because responsibility will always come. It is never something that you do without any responsibility. It is like two sides of one coin. You know, when you see one side, you should always know that there is another side. So I think these are the most important ones.
Thank you so much, sir. Similarly, according to you, what are the secret of success? What are the tips that you want to share to all the viewers?
First tip is always behave with the other people the same way as you expect them to behave to you. Do not ever expect to be people nice to you if you're being rude on them. Do not always um, or never judge people uh, by only your level, because you never know what is there in people's life. Kind of, you know, there's a proverb: before judging someone, try to go his path in his own shoes. Is the idea clear? So you need to understand what was there in someone's life before judging. And then do not judge because you're not the judge. It is only for judge who work in the court, who are, you know, who are deciding on people's destiny. Be a person, be a nice person. Of course, be persistent. It was a good question. Be persistent. Be ready to understand that it is not always that only you want. There's always some different life conditions. There's always someone else's wish. There's always some rule that may not allow you to go somewhere or to reach something. You know, another proverb: we want and we wish, but only God knows what is best for us. You know, you can dream of something, you can do all the best you can to reach, but then however it happens, it is still your life. And try try to be happy with what you have. If you have something in your life, try try to be happy with what you already have. Try to love your family, try to love people around you, and you can always want more, you can always do something to have more, but uh, do not feel frustration about having less. You know, not getting something, it is also some kind of success. Maybe sometimes you want something, you go towards it, you work hard, but God knows what is better for you. If he's giving you this chance, then you have it, you're worth. But if he keeps you away from something, maybe this is your success. You know, maybe it's a chance to think over, to analyze your life and change something, and maybe you will find your happiness in absolutely different sphere.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing the tips to us. Uh, Now we are almost at the end of Q&A session. Sir, talking about the current situation, how is the condition of COVID-19 or say coronavirus in Russia? What has government planned to move over from this situation?
Well, the overall situation is under control of governmental authorities. We can see that they're taking very serious activities, and there is still some medical institutions, even though all the ban, all the quarantine measures, they are released, but they still keep at the very high steady level some medical institutions. Uh, in each governmental wing, we do have inner rules which people do follow. We still have some restriction in the public transport. For example, in the subway or in the bus, you cannot seat person each to person. We have like on the chessboard, the sitting places are divided as a chessboard. So one seat you can use, the other one has to be spare. Then the other guy can seat. Then in the public transport, everyone is wearing the mask, the gloves, silicone gloves. Then anywhere you go, any supermarket, any medical institution, any official building, there's always this sanitizers, and there's police officers who are advising people. They're not pushing, they're not strict, but they always watch, and they're very much aware, and they're advising people to follow these rules because the effect can be very negative, and I'm glad that people do understand, and people do follow the rules. For example, the my unit where I belong, and we're doing military science, and we have a lot of people, a lot of these research fellows who are above some age, like above 60, about 55. And the older person is, the more complicated situation is. And we're trying to let people work distantly. We allow them to work using this Zoom conference, Skype, using email, and they're doing their research distantly from home. And they do not need to visit office every day like it usually is. And these rules were invented at the beginning of April, and until now, I think only the young people are in the office now. The others are. We're trying to be careful to those who are above the age when the situation can be dangerous for. There is some prediction that there might be a second flow of the disease, but it is only prediction, and nothing tells us. There's no official statistics uh, about growth of level of the disease, but we are ready to follow any rule. And if there will be rules, or if there will be any second wave of the disease, of course we will keep quiet and we will follow, because everyone here understands that the situation is very serious, and well, it might be very problematic to get through if we do not follow the rule. So there is good understanding of the situation between people.
Uh, Thank you so much, sir. Now we are almost at the end of today's session. At last, what do you want to say to all the viewers watching us from YouTube, Facebook, and from Zoom, and to those who will watch our session later on YouTube? What do you want to say to all the viewers?
Uh, what I would like to say is that don't be afraid to change your life. There is always some kind of possibility to make life more interesting. Level of technologies now, they allow us to sit in front of your computer, being very far away from each other, and discuss problems that are familiar to you in your age and in your country. The same for me in my age in my country. There's the world has become pretty much global. This globalization, it's pretty good thing, because 20 years ago there was no such program as Zoom. There was no these computers that were not that common, and even number of people that could use without that could speak to one each other without this language barrier. There were not so many. I'm talking about 20 years ago. 40 years ago, it would have been a nonsense if someone from Moscow would be talking to someone from Nepal just like this online. People could not even dream about this. So maybe 10 years after, there'll be some 3D technology, Zoom, and then maybe your son will be speaking to my son. Maybe they will not even be speaking in English. They will be speaking some, Thai language or whatever, Hindu. So please do not hesitate to move your head around. There's life is different on that side. Life is even more different on the other side. And then communicate to the other people, share your experience. Do not hesitate to learn from other people, and don't be square-minded. Be open-minded. Life is much more interesting and much more important when you can be there for people. It is very important for myself. So I think I do not push anyone, and I do not want to make someone to go my way in my shoes. Never. But you wanted to hear my opinion, and this is what my opinion is. Be open-minded. Continue your education. The more you know, the more you can share, and be nice to people.
Thank you so much, sir. Now we are almost at the end of the session. Now I would like to call Chairman of our Deacon, ex-SSP of Nepal Police, Gupta Bahadur Shrestha, sir, to present vote of thanks and virtual token of love to our today's chief guest.
Thank you, Ranjit. First of
Thank
all,
you, sir.
I would like to greet my prayers to our today's guest, Vadim Mikheev. It is correct? Namaste.
So
Yeah. So how are you? You are fine. We are also fine here. So today I am so glad, we are so glad to see you here in this forum. And I would like to thank our Dr. Rajendra Keshi sir also, who is connected to you here with all of us here. So yeah, I'm agree with you what you are saying here in this last moment that uh, I want to say that I want to share with you that I am also a son of one army soldier. Okay, yeah, yeah. So uh, Mr. Rajendra Keshi, also a son of one army soldier, army officer. You are also a son of army officer. So now today we are being together here like this way. So it's a very nice moment. So I'm very happy to see you this moment here now. So I got that you are so a professional officer, so intelligent and so dedicated, so devoted officer here in your institution. So I would like to thank for your motivational words. That's you are transforming. That's positive thoughts also. Okay, yeah. So uh, what we knew from here, from you, that you are going to leave your profession, your job, isn't it? After some time.
I'm only finishing my current contract, sir. So
Uh-huh.
uh, it might be different.
Yes,
You never know. It is only my decision, but I'm a military guy. So if
uh-huh.
my command says you have to go on, I will have to go on.
So, okay. So, that's very good things. Uh, Now, it's going to, it's a very nice session that I would like to thank you so much for your this precious time and for this sharing this your experience of your whole active this army life. You have so many experience in the UN service. You have experience in your army service. Uh, for your knowledge, for your information, I've also done 30 years job in police. Then I went to uh, Yugoslavia in 1996, and
Wow.
in Sierra Leone in 2003 and 2004. So I've done UN service in the two places, two countries. So nice to see you in this moment. So at last, I would like to express my grateful thanks to you again, and hopeful to see you in our country, in Nepal. I would like to invite you to visit this our country, uh, and at the last moment, we'd like to offer our virtual token of love, and I'd like to request you to, uh, yeah, this is our virtual token of love from our institution for your good health and happiness and
Thank you, sir.
all of your family. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, sir.
Rajit, go ahead.
Once again, thanking our today's chief guest and thanking all the viewers for watching our session patiently. Now, I would like to end our today's session. Take